Ambassador Sanjay Singh, Lieutenant General Lamba, His Excellency Ambassador Song Kim Thon, Excellencies, distinguished guests, eminent panelists, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a distinct honor and a proud privilege for me to be present here today to share my thoughts with this august audience on the maritime security challenges which India and ASEAN need to wrestle with in the Indo-Pacific region. The Indo-Pacific region has emerged as the world's center of gravity in the maritime domain. The Indian Ocean is the third largest water body, spanning an area of 68.5 million square kilometers, and countries on the rim of the Indian Ocean are home to nearly 1/3 of humanity. India sits astride busy sea lines of communication which transit across the Indian Ocean, over which nearly 100,000 ships transit every year, carrying 66% of the world's oil, 50% of the world's container traffic, and 33% of the world's cargo traffic. These oil arteries and trade routes lead further east to the ASEAN and countries like Japan, China, and South Korea. Nearly $5 trillion worth of commercial shipping, as well as energy supplies, transit through the South China Sea every year. The seas are no longer a benign medium, and globalization has resulted in the vulnerability of the oceans. The threats and challenges on the waters of the Indo-Pacific region are as wide and varied as they come. Who could have imagined that in the 21st century we would once again be grappling with pirates, or that the major threat in the maritime domain would be from asymmetric warfare and maritime terrorism? But that is a reality. And the other challenges include arms trafficking, drug smuggling, human trafficking, and poaching. Another challenge on the waters of the Indo-Pacific region is that in the past few decades, there has been indiscriminate pollution of the oceans and contamination of the natural marine habitat, resulting in a detrimental impact of climate change on the oceans. Consequently, a large percentage of extreme climate conditions turn into natural disasters, and the navies and the coast guards of the region have to be ready to provide humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. The tensions and the turbulence in some part of the Indo-Pacific region has the potential to spill over into the maritime domain, and the situation can best be described as fragile. Consequently, over 150 warships from over 20 navies are always present in the Indian Ocean region to safeguard their maritime interests. India and ASEAN have vast maritime interests, and the responsibility of protecting these interests falls squarely on the shoulders of men in white uniform, because it is the responsibility of the navies and the coast guards to ensure that these maritime interests, which have a vital relationship with the region's economic growth, are allowed to develop unhindered at all times. The Indian Navy has emerged as a multi-dimensional network force, which is ready to take on challenges in the maritime domain, in the Indian Ocean region and beyond. It regularly engages navies of the ASEAN for coordinated patrol, for capacity building and capability enhancement initiatives, and information exchange to enhance the maritime domain awareness in our waters. The Indian Navy has expanded its operational footprint across the Indo-Pacific region, and we carry out interaction and exercises with the ASEAN navies with the aim to shape a favorable maritime environment and enhance avenues of mutual cooperation. In 2008, the Indian Navy launched a unique initiative, the Indian Ocean Naval Symposium, as an avenue and an organization to promote maritime cooperation among navies of the Indian Ocean region. The Western Pacific Naval Symposium is a similar organization for cooperation among navies of the Western Pacific and Southeast Asian region. To further promote cooperation among navies of the world, the Indian Navy conducted the International Fleet Review last year at Visakhapatnam, and I had the privilege to be at the helm of the Navy at that point in time. 50 navies of the world, including the ASEAN navies, came together to strengthen bridges of friendship. And the underlying theme at the Fleet Review was that we may be separated by geography, but we are united through oceans. Speaking at the International Fleet Review, the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, articulated and outlined his vision for the Indian Ocean as Sagar, which means the ocean, and the acronym stands for security and growth for all in the region. In recent years, under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, there have been a series of initiatives for development in the maritime domain, including the quest to harness the blue economy and the transition from look east to act east policy. These are pointers to indicate that India has once again turned towards the seas and is destined to emerge as a resurgent maritime nation. The waters of the Indo-Pacific have emerged as global economic highways. Another unique feature of the Indian Ocean is that 80% of the oil and trade that emanates in the Indian Ocean region is extra-regional in nature. This implies that if there is any impediment to the free flow of oil or trade, it would have a detrimental impact not just on the economies of the region, but global economies as well. Safety, security, and stability on the waters of the Indo-Pacific region is therefore of paramount importance. And it is the collective responsibility of the navies to ensure the security of the global commerce. Networking among navies and maritime partnerships between India and ASEAN, therefore, need to be strengthened in the coming years. In conclusion, I would like to highlight three major takeaways. India and ASEAN are maritime neighbors who have extended their hand of cooperation across the seas. In order to fully implement the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of Sagar, which is security and growth for all in the region, we need to draw up a comprehensive maritime cooperation roadmap between India and ASEAN so as to shape a favorable maritime environment across the region. The Indo-Pacific has emerged as a contiguous maritime space with common opportunities and challenges, and there is a need for greater maritime cooperation. I would like to recommend greater interaction between the Indian Ocean Naval Symposium and the Western Pacific Naval Symposium to address areas of common concerns and provide synergy for greater maritime cooperation across the Indo-Pacific region. And finally, the Honorable Prime Minister of India has launched a dynamic initiative of Swachh Bharat, or Clean India. We could consider extending this concept to Swachh Sagar, or clean oceans. Oceans are common heritage of mankind, and India and ASEAN could take the lead by ensuring clean oceans for our future generations. Thank you.
Thank you for a very important statement, Dhowan. May I now invite General Namba, former Vice Chief of Army Staff,